there, Storm Tracker Mike McCabe. I will be reading chapter 16 of a book titled Dessert First. The title is Haley Durand, and I'm excited to read it to you. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. So here we go, chapter 16, A Birthday Surprise. As soon as we got to Fondue on Saturday, Daddy took me to Guston. The birthday party was scheduled for 11:30, and I would go home with Mommy and Daddy after cleanup. All I really wanted was to get Dominique to bake the double D's, but I didn't want my parents to know that I wanted it to be a surprise. Bonjour, ma chérie, said Guston. I hope you like birthday parties because today we have one for you 12 fourth graders. Let's see what fondues they request. Malted milk ball, saltwater taffy, nuts for Nutella, and maple butter ribbon. I couldn't believe it. Maple butter ribbon was one of the new fondues I'd never tasted. Maybe I'd get to try it. Take this to Dominique, said Guston, and tell her the children will be here in less than 45 minutes. Oh, how I hoped she was in a good mood. I started on my way to the pastry station looking at the list. Did it really say Dolan at the top? Dolan, D-O-L-A-N. It did. I prayed that it was spelled wrong because that was Amy's last name. But Amy wasn't in fourth grade. It couldn't be the leaf stuffer. But what if she had a sister or brother? I handed the list to Dominique. Let's see what the kiddies are having today, she said. 4 pastry fondues. In a second, Dominique had all the flames going high and she was beginning to stir like mad. With that scarf around her head, she looked scary. Don't just stand there. Don't just stand there. Dessert, get yourself an apron. Where's? On the hook, right over there. I scurried away. I was as afraid as if this was not a good mood day. My corn syrup. Where's my corn syrup? Guston appeared like magic and said, here is your corn syrup. I put on my apron and Guston said, Dessert, you're going to be a runner today. That means you run around and do what I tell you. First you will pass out the barrettes when the guest arrives. When he went into the dining room and was back in no time, Zut! They are early. I will finish preparing the table. Go to the door and stall them with the barrettes. I took the box of barrettes and walked toward the door, and that's when I saw Amy D. She saw me too. What are you doing here? She asked. It's my sister's birthday. I know, I lied. If you're our server, shh, I said. Don't shh me, Dessert. Listen, Amy, I'm only working. You're working. Wait till I tell my sister, Amy said. Hey, Julie, Dessert's our waiter today. This is going to be the best party ever. Take my coat, Dessert. I ignored her and started handing out the barrettes. I gave each of the older girls a pretty blue barrette with a tiny French flag embroidered on the front. Then I looked at Amy and said, looks like you get pink, Amy. It's such a pretty color. I knew she hated pink. I'm not wearing that, Dessert. Give me a blue one. I'm sorry, but I ran out of blue. Then I crossed my arms and said, no barrette, no fondue, rules are rules. She hissed at me. I turned away and noticed that Guston was motioning us to come to the table. When I reached him, he said, smooth service, Dessert. Mercy, little did he know. Piece of cake, I said. See how Dom is coming along now? I took a walk back to her station and she had all the fondues bubbling on the stove. How does a pastry chef end up making kitty fondue, she said. This is a beautiful cake, I said as I studied the birthday cake she had baked. What kind is it? 9 egg pound cake, she said. Why? Because your cakes are always the best. I was hoping that she liked compliments. The best, she said. You really think so? The best, I said. Well, it's just going to get sliced for fondue, she said. But I bet it tastes wonderful, I said. I'm sorry it's going to Amy's sister. No time for sorry, she said. Take this out to the party. By the time they finish singing, the fondue will be ready. She did not wait for a reply before she put the huge cake on its huge platter in my arms. The cake was almost touching my mouth. I didn't lick it, though. I walked it right out to Guston and put it in his hands as fast as I could. Amy D. was sitting at the far end of the table when the happy birthday song began. I sang along under my breath. Oh, my dear friend Amy D., you who look so ugly in that horrible pink beret that I made you wear today. Her sister blew out the candles, and Gaston began cutting the beautiful cake into fondue-sized squares. Dominique was right about that. When all the plates were ready, Gaston said, "Dessert, please serve our guest." I started at the head of the table, knowing that Amy D. was on the other end. When I reached her, she said, "This table is rocking, Dessert." She looked me in the eye and said, "Fix it." Gaston was watching, so I had to put on a fake smile. "In a minute," I said pleasantly. Even though I wanted to do something bad, I sat down to the last plate of cake and brought over a menu to you-know-who. I bent down to put it under the table leg. My head hit something hard. I knew Amy had shoved me, so I put my knee on her foot and ground it in. I quickly stood up and straightened out my apron. "Sorry about that," I said. "It's crowded down there." Gaston then set out 3 trays of fondue pots, one on the far end by Amy and one in the middle and one on the near end. "My skewer's dirty," said Amy. "Dessert, please get this lady a new skewer," Gaston said. I tried to keep a friendly look on my face because of Gaston. When I came back with the new skewer, Amy said, "Took you long enough. Were you licking the beaters in there?" Gaston's were on me, so I didn't say anything back. Gaston's eyes were on me, so I didn't say anything back. "Dessert," Amy continued, "what are you giving up for the duty drive?" "My sister's giving up biting her nails, and I'm giving up diet soda." "Diet soda?" I said. "That's not even a sacrifice. Mine's way harder." I just didn't know what it was yet. "It's probably baby food." "Ha ha ha," I said. "It's cookies," she said. "Way harder," I said. "If only I knew what it was." "Then it has to be dessert," she said. "But I know you wouldn't give up dessert." "How do you know?" I said. "Because you'd never make it." "I would so." "Prove it," she said. "I will," I said. "Excuse me, Julie," Amy shouted. "Excuse me, everybody. I have an announcement to make. Dessert Schneider is giving up dessert for the duty drive." And that's the end of chapter 16 of Dessert First, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.